Oh my goodness, we made it past 500 subscribers. I thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. That really means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Love you guys. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. And I just got done playing the Red Dead series for the first time ever. I know I'm hopping on the hype train for this game super late, but I just finished the series and I legit have nobody to talk to about it, so I wanted to make a video reviewing it for you guys. So over the summer I started Red Dead Redemption 2, but I never got to finish it. So I was pretty bored during the winter and had nothing really else to do during the time. And you know, since it's so cold outside, you're like trapped indoors pretty much. So during that time, I bought both games, Red Dead 2 and Red Dead 1. I was told that Red Dead 2 is a prequel to Red Dead 1, so I decided to play Red Dead 2 first. I can see why people say it's still one of the best open world games to this day because, I mean, I agree. This is at least the best open world game I've ever played. The scenery is so beautiful. I could literally just ride around on my horse for hours and hours. The horse riding and exploring the areas was definitely my favorite part about this game. I thought it was so chill and so relaxing riding around from location to location. I was really bad at the missions. I died a lot, but I got better at them, and but yeah, I was just so motivated to finish each mission because that means I got to see more of the story. And oh my gosh, the story in this game is amazing. The story is about how industrialization is affecting gunslingers. We follow the Vanderlyn gang as they try to get one more big score before things change for good. Dutch, the leader of the gang, he is always getting the gang into trouble, which causes our main characters Arthur and John to question his legitimacy. In Chapter 1, we see the gang coming back from Blackwater. From context, clues, and the dialogue of the characters, we can tell that something went super wrong in Blackwater. Now, we never know what happens in Blackwater, but there's little hints sprinkled throughout the game that you can piece together to kind of get an idea of what happened that night. Chapter 1 is mostly about getting to know the characters. Things start to kick up more in the later chapters. You run into trouble with Pinkertons and the O'Driscolls. The gang is constantly moving from town to town as Dutch's plans keep failing, and the more times Dutch's plans fail, the more unhinged he gets. I live for the drama in this game because after each failed plan, you have to deal with the fallout. You slowly start to lose members as the story progresses, and then once you reach the mission in Saint Denis, Hosea gets shot in front of you, and the game takes a really dark turn after that. So after that ordeal in Saint Denis, you end up having to escape to Guarma. Now, when you get to Guarma, this is where you start seeing Dutch's mental state slowly decline, and you start seeing Arthur question Dutch's motives.
So how did you know she was gonna betray us? What'd she say?
It was in her eyes, in the way she was leading us.
But you said you knew Spanish. I know human beings, Arthur.
You eventually reunite with your gang, but then you're chased off to Beaver Hollow. At this point in the game, Arthur is coughing like crazy. A stranger in the street notices that he's having trouble breathing. This stranger ends up taking Arthur to a doctor.
I mean, what appear to be the symptoms?
Well, I think you've heard them. I'm coughing.
Is there any blood?
Sometimes.
Okay, now here. Breathe. Again. Let me see your tongue. Say ah.
Ah. What is it?
It's not good news.
I guess that.
You got tuberculosis. Really sorry for you, son. It's a hell of a thing.
What do you mean?
You're real sick. It's a progressive disease, and you'll be... Now, the best thing is rest, and getting somewhere warm and dry and taking it easy. Now, is that possible?
Sure, I can just take my winters in my country club in California. No, it's not possible.
Well, like I said, I'm real sorry.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, wait. Let me get you a little bit more energy today.
Molly, Dutch's former lover, tips off the Pinkertons, and this pisses off Dutch because he realizes he's slowly starting to lose loyalty amongst the gang. I'm gonna go on a little rant here. I hate Micah. I hate that little shit. Like, he's the problem. He's the problem. He's the reason everything bad happens in this game. I wish we just had the option to leave him in the prison when he got caught. I guess it's fine because he gets what he deserves at the end of the game. I did the High Honor playthrough, and Arthur's relationship with Sister Cauldron, I don't know how to pronounce it. Cauldron? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah, his relationship with the sister is just so wholesome. During one of the interactions with the sister, Arthur tells her that he's dying and that he thinks he's a terrible person. And the sister's like, I don't think you're a terrible person, but if you think you're a terrible person, use what time you have left to do some good. And this is really cool because then this is where the redemption part of the title comes into play. So Arthur uses what time he has left to try and do some good for other people. Arthur first tries talking some sense into Dutch. He tries to tell Dutch to stop going on revenge missions, but Dutch doesn't listen to him, and Arthur just gives up on Dutch at this point because he realized there's no saving him. You end up attacking an oil rig with a group of Indians, and at some point Arthur's getting jumped and attacked, and what does Dutch do? He just stands there. He watches and he walks away. And later when you're trying to rob a train, John falls off his horse. Dutch and Micah say they're gonna go back and look for him, but they end up lying to Arthur, telling them that they found John dead. But John ends up coming back to the camp and telling everyone that Dutch just left him there to die.
Dutch!
John?
You left me! You left me to die! My boy, I didn't have a choice. John, I didn't have a choice. Left me!
Arthur and John are on their own now. Arthur knows that he's gonna die soon, so he makes it his final priority to get John and his family to safety. While Arthur and John are running from Dutch, Micah, and the Pinkertons, Arthur's horse gets shot, and it's super heartbreaking. I chose to help hold off the Pinkertons, and John was able to escape to his family. Arthur and Micah end up fighting to the death, but at this point, Arthur's just out of energy, and he ends up giving up and falling to the ground. But he sees a gun on the ground, and he slowly starts to crawl toward, but Dutch ends up intervening.
God damn you.
It is over. Now, Arthur. It's over.
Oh, Dutch. He's right. You know it, and I know it.
He's sick. He's dying. He's talking crazy.
There! Up there on the ridge! I gave you all I had. I did.
Come on. Dutch. Let's go, buddy. We made it. We won. Come on.
John made it. He's the only one. The rest of us... No. But I tried. In the end, I did.
Come on. Let's go. We can make it.
Arthur's dying words end up having an impact on Dutch. Dutch leaves, and Arthur crawls towards a cliff facing the sunset, and he dies peacefully. So I had this scene spoiled for me way before I played this game, way before I even knew what Red Dead Redemption was, because I just remember seeing that one scene on TikTok a lot, and I'm like, why is everybody crying over this cowboy guy? And now I get it, because you spent a good chunk of time with this character through the whole game, and you got to learn about him, you got to see his personality, you got to see his character development, and he's just a super likable character. So when that all happens, it's just like you lost a loved one. Like, oh my goodness, I was bawling my eyes out. I was so sad. I didn't want him to die. That just shows you how much of a great impact Arthur had as a character. Arthur got his redemption. He did what the sister told him to do. He used his, the little bit of strength he had left to help someone. And that is just such amazing storytelling and character development. Good job, Rockstar. The soundtrack is so good. I've been listening to it on repeat for days. I've been listening to it while I'm in the shower, while I'm driving to work. We recently just got a whole bunch of snow here, and so I put in my AirPods and I would listen to it while I was shoveling. Made it very immersive. We now switch over to the epilogue where we play as John, and this is setting up the first Red Dead Redemption. We learn that John and his family are safe. John tries living a normal life to make his wife Abigail happy and to make his son Jack happy also. And also he tries living a normal life to honor Arthur's dying wish. But John struggles to leave his old life behind, and it leads to some trouble. Sadie hears that Micah is alive, and John and Sadie made an agreement that if they ever came across Micah again, they would kill him. So Sadie, John, and Charles end up going to the mountains to hunt him down. This leads to a standoff between Dutch, Micah, and John.
Say something, Dutch! Say something! I ain't got too much to say no more.
John and Sadie and Charles, they end up getting the stash from Blackwater, and they're super rich now. John ends up marrying Abigail using the ring Arthur was going to give to Mary. And by the way, speaking of Mary, that's who I'm cosplaying as. I am cosplaying as Mary Linton. Little side tangent about Arthur and Mary. I was really rooting for them. Their relationship is so adorable, but at the same time, it's so heartbreaking.
Is it too late for us, Arthur?
I can't lie to you. I'm a wanted man, Mary. If anyone close to me, well, they're wanted too, and I can't have you wrapped up in there. But it's coming to an end. This time it really is.
Run away with me, Arthur. Run away right now and don't look back.
I want to. More than anything, I want to. But I've got some people I need to take care of. Once they're free, then I'm free. Then I can disappear.
But Arthur...
If we're gonna run away anywhere, we'd need money. And soon, I'll have some.
I know you won't run away. But it's a pretty dream.
Very pretty. But I will, once I get some money. I had some. But then some fool got it trapped into a town that I can't go back to. That's another story.
I'll write you.
Yeah.
I really wish you had the option to get on the train and run away with her, because if that was an option, boom, the credits would have just rolled right after that, and Arthur would have gotten his happy ending. And if you end up playing the high honor route, she ends up visiting your grave at the end of the game, which again just warms my heart. Now onto the first game, Red Dead Redemption 1. We now play as John. John now works for the government. He's working for the government because the government ended up kidnapping his family. His job is to unalive the remaining members of the gang, and if he does that, his family gets set free, and John gets his own freedom too. He gets dropped of any charges he has had on him in the past. The remaining members of the gang are Bill, Javier, and Dutch. Bill ends up escaping to Mexico, so you end up chasing after him. And yeah, same things that I liked about the first game. Again, the soundtrack is so good, and the scenery is so beautiful for a game being made in the 2010s. Again, it was my favorite part to just explore the areas, explore the scenery. Traveling from location to location is just so relaxing. From now on, if I ever have like a stressful day, I'm just gonna turn on one of the Red Dead games and I'm just gonna ride around on my horse. Mexico is at war, and you end up having to act like you're on both sides to try and figure out where Bill and Javier are hiding. You end up meeting Abraham, and he helps you find Bill and Javier, and Abraham is so hilarious. Abraham is honestly the best character in this game. I love him so much. In the final act of the Mexico part, you end up killing Javier and Bill, and now the last person to capture and kill is Dutch. John struggles to kill Dutch because pretty much Dutch raised him. He kind of sees Dutch as a father figure, so he's really struggling with this like inner turmoil on like, should I kill him? Should I just let him get away? But yeah, this inner turmoil ends up to letting Dutch get away multiple times. You are eventually able to corner Dutch, but Dutch ends up going out on his own terms and jumping off a cliff. John ends up returning home to his family, but kind of all saw this one coming. He gets tricked by the government, and him and his family start getting shot at. This is where we start to see parallels between the two games. John knows he's not gonna make it out of this alive, so he uses what final moments he has left to get his family to safety.
Come on. Now listen. Jack, Narlin, get on this horse. Get out of here. Go find a place to hide.
You're coming with us, Paul.
I'll catch up. You keep riding and don't look back. And don't be worried about me, you hear? Now get going.
You stay out of trouble, John.
Ain't no trouble, Abigail. Ain't no trouble. I love you.
I love you.
Now go! Get!
Which again brings back the meaning of the title. John and Arthur are very similar. They may sound different, look different, but their personalities are very similar. John also thought that he was a bad person, so he did the same thing. He used his final moments for good. Now you play as Jack and you hunt down Edgar Ross. You're eventually able to find Edgar Ross, and Jack ends up killing him. And that is the end of the Red Dead story for now. Gameplay-wise, I definitely prefer Red Dead 2 over Red Dead 1. I really enjoyed playing these games back to back, so yeah, I get the hype. I get why so many people enjoy this series. I definitely recommend checking it out. You won't regret it. Now it is time to rank the Red Dead series. So how I do my ranking system on this channel, I'll do like something out of 5. So 0 being the worst, 5 being the best. So I'm going to give the Red Dead series a 5 out of 5 cowboy hats. Anyways, that is going to be all for today's video. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. I hope you guys all have a great afternoon, day, and evening, and I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to love yourself and be yourself. Bye.